Start of another day. Was just driving on my way to work and listening to YouTube for a little, just brush up on my rhythms and ECGs. I've got some training coming up for it. And it occurred to me, one of the hardest parts about nursing school was memorizing all the massive amount of data and information and procedures and everything you had to know. And I come from a non-healthcare body science, at least, industry, manufacturing and plastics and real industry in that sense. So there was nothing to really come across. Maybe some physics, maybe some of the engineering, some of that. But so I had to learn everything again. I had to learn everything from the ground up. And like I said, as an older person, as an older nurse, it's harder. My daughter reads it. She gets it. She once. It's like almost photographic memory. And a lot of my classmates, I read the chapter, but got a good grade. I was like, holy crap! I had literally read it 6 or 7 times. And your mileage may vary. Some people read visually is fine. Some people hear auditory. Some people are tactile, etc. So I mean, tactile for us, procedure-wise, depending if you're going to be acute care or something like that, even home care, I guess, you're really doing it, is very important. You have to do it. So that's one of the things I will say and suggest, is that you need to, and I said this in another video, you need to volunteer and do the stuff. Even if you screw up, you'll have that muscle memory of going through the actions. And the more and more you do it, whether it's getting meds, passing meds, crushing meds, giving meds, injections, sub-Qs, intramuscular, rectal, whatever. I haven't done, is it intrathecal? It's a spine. I forgot what that one is. So you got to do it. So that will help. Pretend to do it too. Practice at home. Because of COVID, we had to do some things at home, also some clinicals. But I also did that on my own. I just to do it. I listen to YouTube while I'm driving. Listen, it's just like a podcast. And then later on, I could put the visual. If I listened or saw the video again, I could do it again. I could say, okay, that's what he was talking about, or she was talking about on the video. And that is something where, if you can record your lectures, do so on your phone, listen to it in and out, instead of music. I stopped listening to music 4 years ago. It's a shame. I like music, but I just started listening to lectures and videos to cram all this information in, because it becomes second nature. You have to lose your social life. You have to lose that. People say, you don't have to. I'm saying, maybe if you're able to, depending on the student you are, but I'm assuming if you're out there searching for information like this, tips, that you need some help. I'm a very tactile guy in that sense. I have to do it. I have to write it down over and over. I write something down, and you write the procedure down, you write whatever down 3, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 10 times if you have to. Then you get it into your head. Because I find, now that I've been a nurse, after I do something 3, 4, 5 times, to my preceptor's dismay or annoyance, then she's, oh, you got it, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm on my own now. She basically lets me go. She turns around and says, okay, I'm going to go help the other wing or the other unit. Call me if you need me. And by and large, I don't. There are times I do, yeah. And always ask for help. Never assume. And that's one thing she kind of likes and doesn't like about me, because I'm slow, but I'm careful. I want to be careful. I don't want to kill anybody. These are patients, these are people in our trust and our care. So, But do it over and over and over is my suggestion. It's the brute strength grunting of the way, but guess what? You're going to have to do it that way. When you're working, you're clocking in. That's how you're going to have to work. So you might as well learn it that way to begin with. So my thought. I was like, people are like, there's easier ways, tricky tricks. I was like, what, are you going to use the tricky trick for the 10,000th time? Because you're going to have to do it 10,000 times in your career. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm going to give this med. Guess what? You're going to give that med like 100 times in the first week you work. Literally. So just learn it. Do it 10, 20 times while you're in school. Get proficient at it, so when you're passing meds in clinical, the professor's like, oh, yeah, practice at home. See if you can get a pill crush and put it a little back. Practice on vitamins. It doesn't have to be real medicine. Practice, So that way you're comfortable. You're not nervous. You feel confident. You know what you're doing. Yeah, this time you're passing out metoprolol instead of vitamin C. So, that kind of thing, Just get the feel of things. Okay? Good luck.